Hey everybody, I hope everyone is doing well. So, we finally got our next 3 houses lord, as, well, legendary Dimitri. That only leaves one left. When Dimitri's reveal chair came out, the main thing I took note about his toolkit was actually his damage reduction. Damage reduction is really starting to become more commonplace in Fae, and that kind of brings its own challenges. I was actually even telling my closest friend how the damage reduction in combination with Abyssal LHB was going to be a pretty threatening thing for me. And that's a kind of comment I've never actually made before about an Abyssal battle. So that's kind of telling what I was expecting. And well, those thoughts were pretty much true. It took me a second attempt to actually beat Dimitri. For anyone here who has been watching my Abyssal clears for a while, you know it's pretty common for me to clear it on my very first try. In my first attempt, I narrowed it down to just Dimitri and a few ads left, but the Tikis, including Tricky Tiki, who both had her Spectrum buffs going and her Ignis ready, could only take him just below half HP at best. I knew then that I was really going to have to reflect on what I just saw and try to come up with a solution to beat the stage. So, for comparison's sake, when I did Legendary Edelgard's Abyssal, she also took me 2 tries to beat, but when I lost on my first attempt, I immediately knew the skills I had to change out to actually beat her, and then I basically went straight back in afterwards and I cleared it no problem. Dimitri's, after I lost the first go, I had to actually sit there for a moment and try to figure out what I was going to do to get around his damage reduction and his pretty much overwhelming speed. Plus the fact that he would basically one round aim the Tikis. It was not exactly, well, I guess it was exactly what I was expecting it to turn into, which was going to be a pretty hectic battle. Or at least I would have thought. The solution I came up with was actually to take Brash Assault and Desperation and put it on Halloween Tiki and just let her nuke him, and it worked out pretty well. Now, I know there's a skill, or at least I'm pretty sure there is, don't quote me on that, I could be wrong, but I think there was a skill called Dive Bomb that basically did Brash Assault and Desperation together as one, but I don't know who that comes from, nor do I have access to it. But overall, in the end, the battle worked out, so what I thought and what I came up as my conclusion, it worked, and I was pretty happy with that. Now, a fun side note is that this Abyssal battle was actually my very first time using Halloween Tiki. Now, back during the last Tempest trial, I did use her, quote, but it was just an auto battle, and I never actually manually controlled her. So this was my first actual go using her, and she definitely impressed me. She definitely lives up to her job of nuking everything. And while I could have beaten the stage without using her Harmonized skill, I happened to remember that she had access to that, and I figured why not do it and clear the stage a little bit quicker. And I will say, it's actually pretty nice having access to a dance skill for once, because I've never had since I only use Tiki. I've never been able to use a dancer or a singer. Or I guess, more accurately, the pseudo dance skill, since it's a one-time use kind of thing, and it's limited to series, so I couldn't use it on any of the Tiki Awakenings, but you get the idea. So, overall, it was definitely a fun battle. I actually really enjoyed it. It made me think, and not very many of the Abyssal battles have actually made me have to think it through for once. So, definitely a 10 out of 10 for Dimitri. I give him that rating. It was quite fun. I definitely enjoyed it. And now, I could have ended the battle a little bit sooner too, but I wanted to let Halloween Tiki get the final blow also, just because, again, it was the first time I ever used her, and I thought it would just be kind of fitting, since she basically carried them through for the victory against Dimitri. Now, speaking of Halloween, I'm actually going to be uploading this tomorrow on Halloween Day, just because, again, to fit the theme with Halloween Tiki, I find it pretty appropriate. And now to any of you guys who might be thinking about trick-or-treating, which if you do, I hope the best for you and your endeavors on this, because I have no idea how that'd go right now currently. But if you do, I hope you have a good time, and may you get all the orbs and all the summons.
My head. No, no, no! Time for a swim? If you say so. Yummy!
Where to?
Okay. Punish them.
Boo! Did I scare you? I'll keep you safe.
Phew. Uh-huh. My head. Me.
Yummy! I'll join the fun.